that this contraption, or what isn't a contraption? What's a contraption? No, that's not the right word. This invention is designed to make you dance. Yes, dance. Even if your life was put on the line, some humans, this wouldn't work for in that situation. But let's just say that this was an invention that made you dance, and not necessarily well. How does this all tie into today's PSA? Just stick around and find out. Now, let's begin. Now, humans, when it comes to giving advice to other humans, I need to practice what I preach. But that's just me acknowledging one of the many flaws within myself. I mean, I can give great advice and even words of encouragement at least 99.9% of the time. But that last 0.1%, tells you right there, I know that I even give dumb advice. And what I learned about this specific advice, which was given to a very, very close human in my life, is there is levels to advice given and advice consideration. Let me explain. Now let me give you an example before we get into the 0.1% area of advice given, which I call the blonde hair advice. Now I have nothing against humans with blonde hair, whether it grows from the scalp, your actual physical scalp, or you get it done to give that illusion that it was grown that way. But don't act like this is the first time you heard of the blonde hair moment. Now, I've obviously have had many of the ditzy blonde moments in my life. And apparently I'm having one right now. But let's just stay on topic, shall we? Or is this the topic? Oh yeah. The levels to advice given. For example, let's say that you want to lose weight. Now, do you ask the human that is actually a living testimony of being once overweight and now smaller or fit? The human who every time you see them appears to be a little bit bigger than the time before, but always manage to tell everybody they started some new diet trend. or the human who came out the womb a $105, but at the age of 44, they are actually still a $105. Now, before you even think to answer that question, really put on your thinking cap and analyze the scenario. Because now, I need to ask you this. If a human has never been where you are trying to go, why are you wasting your time listening to their advice? Now, anybody can give you words of wisdom. I'm proud of you. Congratulations. Those general phrases. But everyone cannot give you personal counsel. Oh, you didn't hear me the first time? Okay. Well, you need to rewind it back. No, seriously, you need to rewind it back because I actually didn't forgot what I just said, and I'm going straight ahead in this PSA, so you're going to have to definitely rewind it back if you want to hear that. Okay? All right. But anyways, I remember about a year ago, about around the time of the beginning of the pickle jar of 2000, what that year was, last year, my mother and I were watching videos in the YouTube universe. And she randomly said, I wish I could twerk. Now, if you can remember, I previously stated that my flesh and my spirit were two different parts of me. My flesh typically never speaks up, and my spirit don't have no filter. But when I responded to my mother's statement, my flesh nor my spirit was speaking. The response that I gave was a response that you give when your brain cells are not working properly because your brain went on vacation. I mean, the whole entire brain just left your five head, like I have right here, for a few moments in your life, and it's left to your ears right here, to comprehend what your brain would have understood is something completely different out in the atmosphere. But you have to comprehend with your ears what has been said. And then your mouth, this area right here, has to respond. And sometimes you just gotta respond for the hell of it. My response to my mother was, Mom, it's all in your ankles. Now, do you remember in school when your teachers used to say this?
Now, class, there is no right or wrong answers.
Now, what they didn't tell us was that it was actually 3 options. It was the right answer, the wrong answer, and that third option that I can't say in the YouTube universe because I don't want to get banned, but let's just say it started with the first letter in dog and the last letter in snakes. First off, why did I even think that my mother was actually being serious when she blurted out that statement? I mean, looking back, I bet that was just simply a rhetorical statement. I wasn't supposed to answer that. And she wasn't supposed to take my advice. How do you take advice from the one person, the one human that you insult on a daily about that they cannot dance? You can't get advice from someone that's got 2 left feet, even if it is your child. That's right. I'm a black woman who cannot dance. Even if someone attaches strings to every limb of my body and move them for me. I mean, I analyze everything, which means that I can make the most simple dance move complicated. So why did I think suggesting using my ankles to perform a dance that uses a whole nother other part of the body made any type of sense to me? I mean, it's not like I came across a twerking tutorial in the YouTube universe and the lady said, oh, it's in the ankles. And yet, to this day, I still can't find that video to show to any living, breathing human. But this isn't the biggest problem of the so-called advice. The biggest issue is when you decide to take that human's advice, knowing that something seems a bit off about what they said, and that person who said it. Now, I've never tried to twerk a day in my life. And if I tried to twerk, I can guarantee you everything on my body would have to be tweaked to successfully twerk in this lifetime. Because I figure a cardboard box has more rhythm and is less stiff than I am. I mean, I don't know how to do no snake because I don't know how to do no snake. I don't know how to do that snake dance, but I can do the cardboard box. Would you like to see it? But I decided, since I gave such interesting advice, why not try to perform the technique with my mother? Now let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a human break both their ankles at the same time? No, me either. But if you can't dance and you try to perform a technique with your ankles, when you're actually supposed to be using your hind parts, finally will. You need to have 911 on speed dial. Better yet, you need to have them on hold. And even better than that, you need to have them on their way, because I can guarantee you some damage will be done. But I said all of that to say this. We have to be very mindful. Use the brain cells. Humans, y'all got to use the brain cells. Be very mindful of the humans that we receive advice from. Because sometimes we shouldn't do as they say or as they do. Just because we love and trust other people's judgment doesn't mean that we neglect our own way of thinking. So let me leave you with this. If you are always giving your rusty, crusty 2 cents to every human that you see, are you really helping, hindering, or hurting those humans? Until next time.